So what'd you get into today, bro? Rock climbing, was that today?
That was yesterday.
Yeah,
So
had you not been out there
that
before?
was my first go around. It was pretty awesome. I had a lot of fun. I liked it. There's different levels. You ever been in there?
I've been in there, but I haven't climbed there, actually. I've climbed at, like, Lewis and Clark and done, like, some super minor bouldering, like, out in the woods, but never really went climbing. But I've done lots of gi pull-ups.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Gi pull-ups, like, for 40 foot or however tall that is.
Yeah, are your grips sore today?
No, not sore
joints or
today, but
anything?
yesterday it's like, man, I give out before I have the chance for it to, like, overwork. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, when I'm rolling, my arms will just be
Yeah,
dead.
it is
But
like
then I'll wake up and they're not. Even an hour later, I don't feel any different once I, like, get some blood flowing back, you know?
it's crazy how rock climbers can moderate that. And two, like several climbers have told me that like has way more to do with like your core and back strength. That's like the two biggest benefits you get, and like the way you hold yourself up onto the wall and stuff builds that, and you start relying on that more than just your hands and your forearms. Because that's typically like when people first start climbing, what I've heard is their grips or their forearms go before like their legs, their back, or like like they just know how to moderate with like cupping grips, like cooking your grip like that, like a monkey paw in jiu-jitsu.
If it was big enough, that's okay. That was not too bad. But there was some of, like, there's different levels in there. Like, they've kind of got it all routed out. If you grab these, it's like what's all like a 5.1, 5.2, or I think it started at 5.6. Honestly, 5.6, 5.7, then a 5.10, which is weird. Was the hardest, and they were like, I swear to God, like little chunks of, like, as thick as an iPhone. You know what I mean, or whatever. Maybe with an OtterBox on it, but flat, no dish in it, and you're all the way near the top. And
It's crazy, dude. Have you seen like Red Bull has that show on YouTube? I believe it's Red Bull where they some of my friends sent me links to it where they like do crazy like sheer face climbs with like no gear and stuff. It's like it's as crazy as like the squirrel suit stuff, man. It's like
squirrel suit's crazy. Like, you watch those, and they're hunkering down through the trees and through the no. I can see my son Jackson. He cried one day because all of a sudden he got this idea that he wanted a squirrel suit. And I was like, dude, I think those are like $1,000. And he starts crying because he's like, he wanted a squirrel suit. I was like, we'll make you one or something. We'll go buy a windsuit.
yeah,
Like,
I
take
think
wings
every
in
kid
there.
has a fascination with flying. There's like that old the old Greek tale, Icarus, not like the documentary about Russian doping on Netflix. But
That's good stuff.
yeah, don't fly too close to the sun.
Yes. Or do too many steroids.
That too. Yeah.
You won't get to compete in the 2018 Winter Olympics.
Yeah. So I ordered like several different cables today to try and like facilitate better audio from the TV into these headphones. So we'll see how that goes. I got like several stereo, like remember the stereo to mono cable I had to get for the headphone amp. So this is I got a stereo to mono, just a longer. I got all 15 feet, so I could run it through the wall and stuff and stay cordless. But I went stereo to mono from like a 3 point, no, yeah, the 3.5 to 8 RCA audiovisual, and then I also did that going to a 1/4 inch, another one. So that's it. That's the same one I got for the headphone amps, just 3.5 to 1/4 inch on one end. And also I got one that would go a 3.5 from like the mic on the camera into the mixer. Because that's it. If I can figure out the best way without having to match after the fact, that's been like the not most challenging part, but just like figuring out all the little nuances to like better ways to do things and how other people are doing things and how to get the best results on your audio quality.
So are they going? So when you play them, are they going to the
So if I go from the headphone out on the back of the TV into a either the AV in right there, like where I was telling you I had the camera plugged into, and I tried to do audio that way, and it just didn't work out. And I think that had more to do with like I need to get like couldn't figure out how to manually do the settings on the camcorder. I'm supposed to be able to just get in there and take control. I gotta do a little more research on that. And I wasn't able to control it in GarageBand either, but I got really good audio from the first podcast, and then I just match that to the video. So that's
from the mics.
yeah,
to
exactly,
the mixer.
exactly. So, but I would like to just be able to go. I can do direct upload of this audio, just bam, we're on, and then if I pull it into iMovie on the Mac, I can do direct upload into YouTube off of iMovie and have just like a basic format I take on the template and stuff every time. But there is a way to do the video feed, like if I can drag the video feed into GarageBand, it'll just let me drag it in, and I can. It's not a podcast track. It's like I can't remember what
Like a
it's
movie
called.
score.
Yeah, a movie track is just what it's called. So it'll let me pull the movie in like above the audio, essentially.
Yeah.
So, and then I can match it that way. That's what I'm doing on the first one. Like I edit it in iMovie, but then too, like this is something that a problem with all Macs, like my SD reader here. Maybe not all Macs, obviously, but my SD reader here doesn't read this card all the time.
I've had mine, like going to put pictures off of which it was an Android phone. So I went to put like the pictures off of my phone onto my MacBook, and I would do it a couple of times because I used to put it in there all the time, and it would freak out. Like it would burn the SD card up. Literally, a couple of times it had gotten hot, like in my phone. Like I would put it back in my phone, and I don't know if it was just from going back and forth from Mac, but it would like lock up, and I was like feeling my phone, and it was hot. Just where I take the SD card out,
it's crazy.
And it happened a couple of times.
I'd be weird. Super upset if that happened.
That's because it's an Android. My MacBook doesn't like the Android.
So I wonder what happens if I hit this button. Okay. Yeah.
That I could show you. Like I meant to bring mine over so I could. Show you like how
if I stay doing it on the laptop, I'm going to do Logic. I would like to just have the laptop in front of me to just like whatever surf the internet. I got the Chromecast hooked up on that TV.
I mean, you can do it. It doesn't have to be open as well. You can minimize GarageBand, and we'll still record and all that stuff.
Exactly. See, I used, and I'm going to do this next time too, that we do an audio with the video feed. I'm going to use the TV to get the best shot of the room because I have just an HDMI drop down into the camera from the TV. So that's just the kind of the fun part too, though, is like figuring out all the connections to get like the best quality audio and like the length cords I need. That's another thing. Like, oh man, I'm like there's like I had the cord I needed to go TV in. I ended up doing a 1/4-inch adapter onto the mixer coming out of the TV, and there's like this a little bit of like I think it just a little static, a little buzz, and I'm like, but I went to like the mono line in from the headphone out, and I could actually adjust that channel. So there's the 4 with like where my XLRs are plugged in, then there's like another 4 mono channels over there.
Yeah. But if you can get either one of those going into the channels on your thing, and then you can just do you can turn your TV if you don't want it to come through here.
See, I don't want it to record. That's like I'm gonna have
play through here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Booty on Friday, and like he's going to Todd Snyder's show from like Hardworking Americans solo tour stuff that he's doing, and we're gonna talk about that on Friday. But we're also gonna do like all the like a 2017 concert review. Because he and I both went to Roger Waters in Tulsa. Colby and I went to Roger Waters with Allie and Cora in Nashville. Panic in La Playa. Colby's about to go to Panic in La Playa like next month. And so I'm super jealous about that.
I haven't been to a show in so long. I think I went and watched. I can't think of the last one I went to.
Dude, I'm thinking about hitting the Floozies at George's. Like I think it's January 21st. I have to check the date, but they're doing a 2-night show there. You ever listen to the Floozies?
A little bit.
Yeah, dude, they're super legit. See, that's why like I got this better cable coming so we can get that quality audio. So I could just throw that up on the TV and we get it in the earphones without it recording.
I was into the weirdest. I was into the weirdest music, like just
Binky.
yes.
That was a funny thing. The dude is talking. What were those? Snarky puppies.
Snarky Puppy. That's a weird name, but they are so.
Dude,
I'm a
they got
huge fan.
down.
I only heard of them because of Corey Henry, their organ player. He was like really young. He's kind of like a little virtuoso. He was like a little, prodigy, virtuoso kind of organ player. He's like one of the best in the world. He's like fantastic organ player. And
Dude,
I
I gotta
really
find out more about the organ player that plays with Jimmy Herring and the Invisible Whip on that tour. Because I went to that show at George's.
probably just a hired dude. If you ever want to watch it was a pretty good documentary. I think it was Hired Guns, or it was about like a session musician, not really studio musicians. These are like a live musicians
I'm
that
giving
aren't
Colby
in the
crap for
band.
not coming on the podcast today.
He can,
Yeah, I told him, I'm like, Dylan is podcasting with me right now.
yeah, he can. He needs to come train too. He was at the gym the other day. I thought about just dragging him down, bro, forcing him into a situation.
Also, so I am going to have a New Year's Day podcast tomorrow with Jerry Bruckheimer's nephew. Very exciting. Michael Sandow.
Jerry Bruckheimer's nephew.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
He's actually going to help me with lighting in here. So, like the very first video, the one we did with Jesse, it was a little dark, but like I was able to bring the color up a little bit and in the editing, and so getting all that stuff down. Like I feel like in like 10 video podcasts, I'll have that down like really well to the way I want it for the time being. And then Nick's making me my banner back here for the backdrop for that side, and then I'm just gonna get some different shots on the room too. It's like if I do a solo podcast, I'm probably gonna sit where you're sitting and put the camera over here on this side.
Do the lights get brighter, or that?
Well, no, they don't. But I have 6 more. Like we're gonna light the room like super well tomorrow. So I'm pumped about that. I like these pink salt lamps over here.
I feel the
Ambiance.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the billion. It's supposed to be beneficial too, like the the
Yeah, positive ions.
yes.
So what are we gonna work on jiu-jitsu today?
Whatever, dude. I need to learn. I need to work on everything. We haven't done a class all week. I didn't get to go to any open mats. I feel like a real.
Are you working tomorrow?
No.
I think I'm gonna go in. I'm probably just gonna say open mat at 10 or 10:30
AM.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do it in the mornings to the evening because I got a buddy of mine just wanted to get some rolling in, and so I was just like, dude, we'll just do it early because he's gonna get out of town. I'm like, we'll just do it early instead of later. It doesn't matter to me.
Is the morning class changed? Is it going to be 5:45?
So Tuesday morning it starts 5:45 a.m. 1 hour.
Sweet.
Yeah. So
Get my ass
man,
up
I
early,
like
bro.
that 1 hour format so much better. Like I did it shorter for lunch for ever, and like now that we're doing it longer, I actually have more participation. I thought everybody had to get back to like work and stuff, but that turns out to not be the case.
I hopefully wish there would be a few more people there. I mean, I like the small crowd too, but
I think that moving the time, even though it's just 30 minutes forward, I think it's gonna balance out. I think it's better than that 5:30 spot for start time because like it just gives people that extra 15-minute window.
me leaving at 6:45. That's because now I gotta go to Taco Bell and get a breakfast burrito on the way. Because I'm usually starving by the time I leave, and then
Dude, it is crazy how like if you get up and you work out for like an hour, a couple hours, or you just really like been up a couple hours, how your body's already kind of kicking into that burning mode because like that would be the point of time where depending on like what you've been eating and whatnot, that your body is getting into that fat burn mode. It's like you've been up for a couple hours, you probably drank some water, but you haven't ate anything yet.
I'm like I know a lot,
But you worked out too.
like on like the fasting. A lot of people fast, and I don't know.
Core does intermittent fasting, and like for the most part, like on these mornings that like my schedule has changed in the morning recently, But on these mornings that I do get up early, like so Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays, I work with Nick on Fridays. It it really I notice a difference because I typically don't eat until I've been up for several hours. So, but I'm not doing like a 10-hour window on my eating either. I think I'm just burning a little extra fat in the morning.
I I have to do if I can't if I go without eating. I usually like to eat. I have to eat something by 9 o'clock. But I've always been that way. You know, working and stuff. You get up early and go in the heat and all that crap, dude. I usually eat first thing in the morning or at 9 o'clock. And it's always 9 o'clock because that's like when my break was, and I've done it for like 10 years straight.
Yeah, dude, it is
And
crazy. Like I've been getting up and teaching morning classes for 5 days a week for it was 4 days for a really long time, and it was five, and now it's just like two. It's going to be two starting this coming week, and it was the same 2 days that I had that 8 a.m. spot at UACCM where I'm teaching history. So I'm interested to see, and like it is crazy too how much more energy I notice I have from just getting that little bit of extra sleep. Like I know everybody was always telling me that, and I was just like, yeah, whatever. I'll sleep when I'm dead.
yeah,
Yeah. So hey, so check this out. You got to definitely make this happen. January 16th, I believe it is. Let me look at the calendar
it's almost
here.
my birthday. My birthday is on the 24th.
So check this out. We're having a special guest, sort of like seminar type situation that night. It's like a Tuesday or Thursday, and a guy named Flavio Kinnup.
I feel like I've heard that name before.
He's a jiu-jitsu black belt. Pretty sure he's a world champion. I'd have to double check, but just like a little bit of rundown on him. So I've trained with him a few times before. Like don't think I did a private lesson with him, but he came to our annual like black belt conference one year or a couple years, I believe. Novu and Yao guy trained with this other guy a lot named Fei Zhao, Rodrigo Fei Zhao, and so he's coming into Bentonville for a few weeks, and he's known on BJJ Heroes and stuff. I think BJJ Heroes, I don't know, but you like on the internet for riding a scooter from Brazil to Alaska.
Holy shit!
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know if I could go that far, but I've always wanted to do.
I'm gonna get him to tell the story on air, man. I'm just gonna be like, bro, you gotta tell me about this. And on top of all that, he's worked teaching jujitsu in Dubai, and I saw him share it, and I don't know if he was there for it, but like I think like last year, a couple years ago, they had like the world's largest jujitsu class, like 3,000 kids or something training, and like the sheiks over there, they're the ones that put on the ADCC, like the Abu Dhabi tournament.
Yeah.
And someone talked to him about that, and like as far as I know, he's lived there for at least a couple of years, on and off, or maybe still. I don't know what he's been up to. I haven't seen or trained with him in like 4 or 5 years, but super nice dude. Like, and I trained with like a lot of jiu-jitsu people in general, a lot of Brazilians, a lot of American white dudes.
Hickson
like,
Gracie, bro.
Trained with Hickson, which was the most beneficial seminar ever of all time. Like, I can't wait to have Jack on. Jackson. So Flavia's gonna be here and do like a evening class and just do some private lessons. I'm gonna have him on the podcast, and then like 2 weeks later, Jack is flying in, who's just done like a 4-hour private with Hickson, and he was at the seminar where Hickson is promoted with me, and did the seminar before my wedding. I'm super pumped to have him on.
I don't know if we talked about this or not. Hickson's kind of catching a little bit of slack, bro.
I know, dude. Well, they did get out ahead of that, and that was still just a PR disaster. They didn't really get ahead of it, I guess, like almost a week or something before the Jiu-Jitsu Global issued a statement. But I will say, like, knowing how I feel like that organization's made up, like they probably had to like funnel everything through a board. I know it's like built around Hickson, but I kind of feel like he relies on like a lot of people close to him. But I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway,
when is Forza?
but we're just podcasting in here. Just dogs coming in right now.
He's gonna rip his tail off for us.
Yeah. Speaking of Hickson, my dog's name is Hickson.
Yes.
And he wants to be on the podcast. He actually sleeps right here a lot of times when I'm just in here playing around. So, yeah. But yeah, no, Hickson was catching a lot of flack on that, and I think they handled it well. I saw the statement they issued, and I feel as if like I in no way am sympathetic to anyone like that. But like my biggest hang up on that whole thing, and it doesn't make it right, is that why I wonder why that judge was like, oh no, you don't have any restricted contact with minors,
Is
because
it?
there's a person here in Arkansas that up around Northwest Arkansas area, and then in like Oklahoma, Siloam Springs, that's been banned from teaching minors due to criminal charges. So like I don't know if like what the deal is with that. Like that would have been like the number one indicator, because I've seen martial arts instructors in the past that have, yeah, you can still teach martial arts, but you cannot teach kids. You can't have any contact with kids. So
Man, I wouldn't be trying to have, kid. That's crazy. It's just like a.
hey, Cora, the dog is in here.
I've got two young children, and I don't, I'm pretty sure if something happened to my child like that,
See, yeah, and that's another thing. Like, I don't have kids at this particular point in life. So like, I can't like. I'm sure I don't empathize as ardently as people that do.
did you ever like, oh, maybe I'll let you borrow one of mine. You can borrow the little one for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, I got nieces and nephews, and but still, like something I've heard like every parent say is like, you don't know what love is until you see
story.
that baby come out of your wife's vagina.
It's rough, bro.
I know, dude. I'm so.
You also don't know what that level of, I don't know. It's a different sick feeling when you see that happen. It's a different level of nauseating. Going, oh, okay. You start sweating. Rough, bro.
Yeah.
But it's also, my oldest child looks exactly like I do. So when he comes out and he's got little dark curly hair, head full of dark curly hair, it's like.
Has he been Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in it lately?
All day, every day. See, my boss, we went to like our company, had like a little company cookout, outing, picnic, party. It was at night, it wasn't a picnic. So it's like a little Christmas party type of deal. And so my boss bought all the kids little toys or whatever, just different crap. And he got Jackson, because we came to Jackson, took Jackson to work with me, and then we went to we went to work. I took care of a little stuff for work. It was the day before we didn't go in for, because it was like last Thursday, and we went in on, took care of some stuff. Then we drove to Fort Smith and we watched.
Dude, I gotta go to
Star
Fort
Wars
Smith and buy that Boss recorder.
You talk to the guy?
I did send a message. I didn't hear anything back, dude. Like I'm all over that Facebook Marketplace, all over it.
Just let me know. I'm only 30 minutes from Fort Smith.
I will, man. Actually, and that's another thing. Like I thought about. I didn't get to have Nate on while he was here, so I didn't have everything set up and ready to record. But like Nate's gonna be on real soon. But like, I thought about hitting Nate up on that one in Fayetteville, because he's just like right up there, and he's always hitting and getting good deals. Like he's got a super sweet djembe he scored up around Rogers or somewhere. Like I want to say it's like a 17-inch head or something. It's got like a super deep tone. You remember James Rowe? He would always have that djembe carrying it around.
We used to play it. It's two people at the same time. It's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm just a man. I like it. I like the whole deal. I like the whole set, dude. I just been a full. Especially once I learned how to do it. Like I was real silly now that when I was in school, I didn't play sports or whatever, and I thought about playing, and I should have played in the band. Like I
Me
played
too,
the drums.
dude. You know what? Like I wanted to be in the band because I didn't go to school till 8th grade, and like when I got there, I'm like, hey, I want to play football to validate my ego or whatever. And I want to be in the band because I'm super interested in music. And like I was getting even more interested in music. And they're like, oh, you can't do both. So you have to choose right now.
Yeah. I wanted to play.
Like, well, I want to play football, man. Yeah. And they're like, well, you can't be in the band. So what's it going to be, kid? Jeez.
More likely to be to get a music scholarship than. Because then I was going to go I was also silly when I started to go to college. I went to be a music major. That's what I signed up for.
Really?
Yeah. And it was, you have to take I think it was 21 hours I signed up for my first semester.
Whoa.
And it's like I was like, no,
Dude, I want
I
to
don't
say
want
I
to do
did.
that.
I want to say I did 12.
Yeah, I think I ended up doing 16 the first semester. I think it may have been 12.
Where'd
And
you
I signed
go?
up for 16 tech.
Oh, nice.
Just a semester, part of a semester.
See, I did my first semester, and I was just like, not. It wasn't the time for me to be there. I got a 3.5 my first semester. Made the dean's list. I think I had 1B, and like I don't even remember what all I took. I took Comp 1. I feel like I took a history class. I don't really remember what all I took. I took intro to film, I believe. Anyway, I made decent grades, but I just didn't. It wasn't the right time. I ended up going back like 3 or 4 years later and cashing out with like a 3.4 for my undergrad. But I had like 160 something hours. I had some like grades from what like I was working super full time, and I took a couple of classes and made like C's and stuff. And that will like really drag your GPA down like 1C. And even if you retake the class and get let's say you had a C and you retook it and you get an A, the C never goes off your transcript. I think it goes off your cumulative GPA calculation though. I'm pretty sure that is like as long as I keep working for UACCM, which would be the plan. I like to teach like multiple classes over there. I can get half price tuition. It's what some of the other adjuncts tell me. I haven't officially checked. They might have told me that in human resources, but I get half price tuition through the PhD program at U of A.
Sweet. So like I think U of O they do. I think if your parent works there, then
Yeah, that's yeah, that is true.
it's expensive. It's
Oh, U of O is super expensive. I wonder what they paid their adjuncts there. Like I thought about Jesse Weiss that I just had on very first guest. He is a sociology professor. Not that it matters what they pay him, but like it's interesting. Like
at Tech or
it well, I see. Like I know roughly what Tech pays. I obviously know what UACCM pays, and I wonder like you would think since like the more expensive the location on site is, that they would pay their staff more. But I bet that's probably not the case.
probably not.
No.
Probably not. Definitely just the size of the school. Like what U of A probably pays more for their. I'm pretty sure they just paid off their football coach. What is it, $11 million
Yeah. No. That's
to terminate his contract?
yeah, man.
But he can't. He's like, oh, I can't coach for, was it 5 years, 3 years, something like that? Who gives a crap? He just got paid $11 million or 14. I don't remember. I don't know. I'm not a huge. I don't keep up with football.
Dude, I don't either. Like I always tell people the exact moment where I stopped keeping up with Arkansas football. And anybody that knows anything about college football in the last 10 years, I feel like knows exactly the situation I'm talking about where Reggie Fish dropped that ball at the Florida game.
I have no idea. I just so happened to be
That-
weirdly watching when they won the national championship in basketball in '90.
Oh yeah, dude, that was a cool time.
Carlos Williamson.
They made a ESPN 30 for 30 about that. Super cool.
It was good. It was
What was the
awesome.
name of the coach back then?
Nolan Richardson.
Nolan Richardson. Yeah, he got fired for like discrimination or something like that.
Probably.
Right? Like like making.
I'm sure he's a Black Panther. I don't know that for a fact. That may be fake news.
One of the images I'm going to get on that backdrop behind where you're sitting is the 1968 Black Power salute at the Olympics, track and field. Track and field's always wrapped up in the controversy, man.
They really are.
Yeah, I wonder why that is a thing. I guess I feel like they probably target, but you didn't hear in Icarus about like wrestling and stuff like that. Like I would feel like the ones where you're like harming other people's bodies, but I feel like they are always on the track and field because it's like an ancient game.
So I don't understand wrestling. Like, what's the the ultimate goal? Like, if you and I are having a wrestling match, what do I need? What am I supposed to do?
I don't know like the exact rules on like the point system, like I do with like Jiu-Jitsu and judo, even to an extent. And like I still I haven't competed enough in judo to like really understand or had enough people. And then like the people I have competing in judo right now are doing freestyle, which is basically like Jiu-Jitsu with pins.
Yeah.
From what there's some similar rules, like you can't throw someone while they're in a submission. So, like, I can't get you in like a shoulder lock and then throw you.
Yeah.
For example, there's certain situations, and you don't see them in Olympic judo, but you can, and you can't do those in freestyle either. Like, you can't do leg locks in freestyle judo, but like in wrestling,
Weak, bro.
there's freestyle. So there's like three, I think they 3 periods heats in a duel. I don't know what all the exact terminology is. I study a lot of wrestling, but like I've never studied it to be good at it for that rule set. So, but like you start off one where you're both standing. You start off one where you're underneath the referee position, which is like turtle, but like a little more postured up. And then another one, so you're on bottom one of those, you're on top one of those. And so that's like the three different. I believe that they're a minute or 2 minutes. It's like rounds basically. It's a real similar format to like rounds in like a boxing match. Like so, like amateur boxers, they do 60-second rounds at non-tournament matches. So I think it's kind of like that, but.
So they're trying to get the pin, or
Trying to get the pin,
like
and
a
then
takedown is
you
a point
get
type of deal.
yeah, I think you get depending on what the rule set is. Like if you turn them over, even if you don't pin them, you get like you get certain scorings for doing that. That's just like in judo, you get like a quarter point, a half a point, or a whole point, depending on what you do. And quarter points are like advantages, basically.
Yeah.
So like you have 2 half points, you win. One full point and a pwn, you win. And like I think like it's like that in wrestling, but you can get any number of points. And then at the end it's like who has the most points, or I think if you pin the person, then maybe that period's over. I don't know. I should figure it out, but like at one point I kind of wanted to coach wrestling at the time. It's like wrestling's only been sanctioned in Arkansas since 2009, and I thought about going that route. And a lot of the early coaches in the state have never wrestled before, but then we're getting more people in the state that have. So I don't know if any of the people around here have wrestled in like high school or college.
So does Russellville doesn't have like a wrestling
No,
team?
Russellville's wrestling team. I've got one of my guys, Seth. He's on the wrestling team right now. His shoulder's busted up, and the JV alternate for him, his shoulder's busted up. We're getting slammed. That's why there's no slams in a lot of your IBJJF, AGF type tournaments. There's no slams because they want to reduce that liability. But like I think like high lift type slams, like a Uranagi or Yushiro and judo, like there's like a really good double isn't really separating people's shoulders. I don't think like a nice overhead double. It's like more like high crotch slams, like when you lift somebody up and dump them,
full belly to back. Suplex City.
Yeah, indeed.
Brock Lesnar style. You ever? I don't. You call wrestling. People call wrestling fake, and it is scripted. But dude, if you get Brock Lesnar grabbing a hold of you and doing a belly to back, and then picking you straight back up and doing it again, and then doing it 5 times in a row. Holy cow!
I'm telling Colby that I'm going to reveal his theory right now on the air with you, since he hasn't come to be on the podcast yet.
His theory?
Oh yeah. And I kind of I think this is super interesting. I've been thinking about it a lot and expanding on it. So the theory is that the entertainment conglomerate that purchased the Zuffa, I forget the name of whatever
WME.
It's called. Yeah, WMEI or something like that.
Yeah,
I can't remember what exactly it's called, but I think that they're going to sell to the WWE. And I think MMA is going to go back to happening inside of a ring. So that was something I thought, but like
going back to Pride style.
Colby, yeah, because like the cage is the only thing that separates it from happening at the same time. Like think about how many crossovers you've had from from WWE to MMA and vice versa. Like Ronda Rousey going and being on WWE, Brock Lesnar was on WWE, and now he's in the UFC, and now he's on WWE. And just back and forth. So, like, Colby's idea is that they are going to merge, which I hadn't really thought of. But, like, what I was thinking is that Zuffa boxing is going to happen. So, which I'm actually excited about.
It's already a thing, right?
For the most part, I think that they've got their, like, licensing and everything in place, but I don't know. I think some of these other things might have to happen. But, like, Colby's in-game scenario is this. that they sell that the Zuffa gets purchased by WWE, and then you have because if I'm not mistaken, the UFC owns Glory. It's on my Fight Pass anyway, so I can watch all the Glories on my Fight Pass. So is that Glory? Like then you could have Glory, boxing, MMA, and WWE pro wrestling all on the same card, and the whole MMA fantasy universe seems to be the direction that things are moving. Like think about it. Ever since Chael Sonnen and Conor McGregor, what's going on? It's just like it's the MMA fantasy universe. I don't know anymore whether or not things are scripted.
It would be cool to have. It would be cool to just have a total, just a whole UFC event. UFC 220 would be a total shit show with wrestling. But like, how cool would it be to have a big jiu-jitsu super fight? You know what I mean? Like a like a UFC fighter, whoever it may be, John Jones grapple with Gordon Ryan. Dude, who doesn't want to watch John Jones roll with Gordon Ryan?
I didn't watch him roll with
or Roger Gracie or Buchecha. Like he beat Dan Henderson, a 40-year-old dude.
I know. I hadn't even watched that. That wasn't even appealing to me. I wonder what John Jones is going to do if he doesn't get to come back anytime soon.
I think they're trying as hard as they can to find a loophole. And
I know that seems to be the goings on.
What? Here's my deal. You have to be the dumbest guy of all time to, on your very first fight back after all that, to purposely take. I think that's what their deal is. You have to be the stupidest guy of all time to even let somebody convince you, or just don't literally give less of a shit than any person in the world. Like, whatever, dude. I'll just get caught again, take another 2-year break. Because how much did he get paid to, he got paid. DC got paid more than him. Doesn't
DC have a fight coming up?
He's fighting Volkan Ozdemir on the next card is Volkan Ozdemir and DC, and then they're the co-main event against Stipe and Francis.
Yeah, that's gonna be sick.
That may not be it is because that's what they just had the press conference.
See, I tried to get Colby to come over to a fight companion last night, but dude wasn't having it.
That was sweet.
You know what? Fight companions are actually kind of like difficult because I fell asleep during the fights last night. It's like I don't know what it is. It's like I think just because every time I watch them, like the lights are out and we're like super comfy on the couch with like a blanket and stuff. It's like, of course you're gonna fall asleep. But yeah, I want to do some fight companions, but I got to get that audio issue worked out with the TV.
Yeah, because if you just have it playing over the thing too. We could figure it out. If I had it in Logic, I know I could figure it out. And if I could mess with GarageBand a little bit and have like some different chord plugin options.
That's it. Like on GarageBand, it's like getting templates in place.
You know, honestly, to me, it's easier to ditch the templates and open up just a brand new track.
I need the templates for when I get my I need to have you take a look at and play with my lead-ins a little bit. Like I got all my logos. Like they made me 6 logos.
So actually. Like on your so you just on the like your lead-in, you would just drag it to a blank spot. It doesn't even have to be. You don't even have to make a track. On Logic, it's not anyways. But like I said, Logic is
you do have to make a track and
See, you don't like. I can just drag a song in. Like say it's a song, like a little. I used to make like a bass drop or something like that, like a big boom, like a big sub drop type of deal, you know. And it would be 2 or 3 different little things clipped together. So then I would merge that and make a whole track out of it. Then I just put it in iTunes. So anytime I needed that, I didn't have to put those 3 or 4 little instruments together and have 3 tracks just to make them one little 2-second clip, and then you can just drag it over in there. But audio track like that, or like editing songs together or something like that. Like I want
to give you the little recordings we did and let you play with them. See if you want to add some drums or some effects to them, and then get that into a template. So all I can do is open that, drag whatever like audio from like what we're doing right now right into there, and bam, upload it onto iTunes. We're done.
Yeah, like I said, if you use this for a little bit, and about the time you get used to it, and then you start getting frustrated with, it's good. But like I know with writing music or whatever, it's like, man, this is kind of a little bit out of the way, a little bit inconvenient. And then you
Yeah.
get Logic, and I don't know, you can just work
Dude,
so much faster in there.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna. That's that again. It's the fun part about doing this. It's like figuring out all the things I need and all the directions I want to take, and then like you see all the extra cables I've got in my camera bag and across the hall.
It's good. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but I can plug cords in the best of them. You just plug them
I
in
know, right?
and plug them in and push the cords. Like, oh, that didn't work. Let's move them over to
got a
here.
weird sound. Yeah, that's I'm pumped about getting the cables I ordered today because that's gonna allow me to do everything I want to do. I even ordered a really long cable to go from like that way I don't have to move the camera at all if I don't want to. You know, like from right there. Like I could, but I'm gonna have a cable that goes from the camera directly into the Mac here for uploads because I feel if I'm gonna do the USB route with like a recorder on down the line, that I'll be able to hook that in there.
So the recorder's good, but it's
see, like I want like a Porta Studio type, like with stuff like what we're looking at. If I go that route, like versus like a little bitty, like I want something that's more like a box that has like onboard storage and a hard drive.
and like I said, if you're going from that, then you wouldn't need that mixer. You would just use
I know. See, and that's another thing. Like I'm about to
because you got a mixer here. And you also have a mixer in here because you can open up your
Exactly.
equalizer,
So-
and there's a mixer.
let me get your opinion on this. You think so? I'm having Flavio on in like 2 weeks, and Caleb's going to be with him. So I already like have a need to have 3 freaking microphones, and here I am.
Well, I have
with the-
one. I mean, that you could borrow. I mean, they're not quite.
I thought about hitting you up on that. You said like the P58.
It's a P58. It's like just a cheap, but it's great. It's great.
See,
honestly.
but I thought about getting the Blue Yeti. Like I actually I've almost bought it several times, but like I don't know if I just want to have a Blue Yeti and go that route if I have more than 2 people, because then if I do the camera with that as well, I feel like I need like a shotgun mic or something like that that's gonna get better audio than the microphone that's on the camera.
So the Blue Yeti, I think it's a condenser, right? And condensers are omnidirectional.
Yeah,
so
this
they're
is
like good
omnidirectional.
for just one, and you set it up in the middle of the room.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because like if you point that in your face like this, it's still gonna pick up. You're gonna get and
See, that's what I thought
you'll
about
learn
doing,
how to do.
like a Blue Yeti on like a boom arm and like having it hang versus sitting on the table. And then another thing, like I'm going to bring this. The table gets longer. It's got a leaf. I'm going to put the leaf on it like pretty soon.
It's a nice table.
Thanks, bro. You're the second person.
Very.
You're the second guest in a row that said that about the table.
It's
very
smooth.
Smells of rich mahogany.
It does. It feels of rich mahogany with a.
Dude, I want to do like a podcast where we just play a game of chess. You know how to play chess?
I know how, but I suck at it. Like,
dude, that's my buddy Mike. When he comes on, we're definitely playing chess. This dude is like sick chess. Like I don't think I've ever beat him. Like we've gotten in a couple of really intense games, like on lunch breaks and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna play him when he comes on. He's gonna film. Like I'm gonna have him come do the podcast. And he's going to film a series of standing guard passes or all fours guard passes, like tripod type stuff for the member site. So Corey and I are filming the next 2 chunks of kickboxing this week. And then Brent and I are going to collaborate on filming some rubber guard. And also, what else we got? We're doing half guard and side mount escapes the next like 3 months. So, yeah. Pretty pumped about the member side. It's coming together. Actually, the web guy, he got all the stuff hidden. This is like that was an issue for a minute. Like we had everything that was ever going to be like a category, whether it had content in it or not, was available for people to see. And now he's got all that like zipped up to where it's just like all you see is what we have content in, which is like 4 positions. Because we've only been live with it for like 3 months.
yeah.
So
I signed up for it that first day or whatever.
Now,
But
go check it out. There's 26 mount escapes, 11
Is
front
it
headlock videos. There's
all the YouTube stuff, right?
yeah, but actually, yes and no. There's a bunch of stuff on our YouTube channel that's not on the member site. It's like there's like, but there's a bunch of stuff on the member site that's not. So about 20% of what I put on the gym YouTube is from the member site, and then there's stuff like that I just like. It's more like I did a bigger like series of moves, like a like, hey, here's single under guard passing series, and I don't like I might take one pass I taught in class from that series and put the instructional on the gym YouTube. So like that's kind of, but I mean, you're gonna get the same content, but also on the member site you get like drill charts and mind maps and stuff that goes categorically. And what I like about it is each time we come up to it, I can just dump into it, like just dump into the database topically, and build a library.
Yeah, faux show. I've been yeah, I've just been missing out. I've been missing classes. I know that couple weeks it was
I
like
know, man. Like this is, like I said, the first year we've ever canceled between Christmas and New Year's. And like I had like 4 open mats last week, and the first 3 were pretty popping. And I'm gonna do one in the morning. I need to make a post about that. But it's been weird being closed and not training. But it's like it's weird being open this week too, because classes are always like lowest ever.
yeah.
So, but I am looking forward to getting back into the new year, man. Like one of my New Year's resolutions is I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and do 2 yoga classes a week. Dude, just a couple I've done recently and some stuff I've been doing. It's like been helping my wrist out and like my hands, like my knuckles and stuff, like just kind of like pressing into the mat, like just little coaching details that like I stretch every day. I mean, multiple times a day. I do a lot of active recovery. I do a lot of mobility every day, like 3 times a day. But something about like just doing yoga. So like I'm gonna try, and after I teach my morning class, I come back to the house, chill, maybe even take a nap, and then go in for like 12, 15 yoga.
Did you ever watch the Will Ferrell interview? Did you ever watch that video? Every time anybody says take a nap, that's all I think
No,
of.
I don't know if I have. What
It's
is it?
like where it's George Bush interviews George Bush.
No,
They're
I've
both
heard about that,
both Will
but
Ferrell. One of them's wearing a suit, the other one's wearing like a cowboy hat and is farm clothes, and it's hilarious. They're both Will Ferrell, and he's like they're sitting here like this, just interviewing each other. And he tells him like, "What's your favorite part about? What was your favorite moment of being president?" He's like, "Well, this one time I took a nap, and it's a real good nap. Had a plaque made.
that's
It's
too
hilarious.
funny. Too funny.
It's funny.
There's a teacher at Russellville High School that has a picture. He got like Teacher of the Year or something. It's like a national award, and he has a picture with George W. Bush hanging in his classroom at the school. I'm just like, dude, this is super legit, bro.
Something to be proud of.
Yeah,
It's kind
just
of
like
like
shaking his hand. He told me a story about it, but I don't really remember it. Russellville's didn't Russellville have some people like march in the like Trump's inauguration or something? Pretty sure they did. Pretty sure it was controversy of some kind behind it.
Russellville went to. Speaking of controversy, let's change this up. Lamar, did you see where Lamar's like
Something about a
one of their
drunk bus
coach?
driver. Yeah,
Yeah, he was one of their coaches, I guess.
but yeah, I didn't get everything because like something about he's from Ozark, not the
Maybe
TV show on Netflix.
he's from. So, see, I don't know who it was. I didn't know what coach. I saw a picture, but I haven't been. It's been so long since I've been out of school. I think they've changed coaches and all this crap. I did see one of the old football coaches, which I didn't play football. He was my driver's ed teacher. He got a 0 one day because I ran over a dead squirrel. Like there was a squirrel on the ground. I didn't do it on purpose. It was like in the shadow, and I didn't see it. And I don't know. It was already dead.
Did you call bullshit? Like, dude,
He's like, you get a 0 for the day. I was like, man, that's kind of harsh. This is my best grade.
yeah, no, right. Dude, yeah, like it was funny. Like growing up, Lamar was always like this, like weird place to people that lived in Clarksville. It's like there's a school there, but it's like, why is there a school 6 miles away? Like, you know,
I
it's
was
like,
scared it was all going to. I just don't think there was enough room. I mean, Knoxville did because see, I went to Knoxville school when I was.
So what's crazy is they still have a London school
They
district.
do
too,
have a London
which
school.
I think is pretty much a part of RSD Russell School District.
I think it doesn't go as high as Knoxville did. I think it only goes to it might because Knoxville went to the 4th grade.
See, like I don't know how they do that because like so Johnson County is not a massive place, but it has 4 schools, right? So
Johnson
you got
County
Lamar,
has
you got Johnson County West Side, you got Clarksville, and you got OARC.
OARC, yeah,
4 schools.
yes. Is
Interesting.
OARC Johnson County? Dude,
I feel like it is. It must be, right?
I didn't know that.
Ozone is in Johnson County. OARC, I feel like yeah, for sure.
You're probably right.
I'll double check. Anyway, yeah. Well, dude, you want to wrap this up and go do a little rolling?
Let's do it.
All right, bro.
I'm down.
All right, man. That's officially episode 2.
Episode 2.
Dylan Sparks, Life Unraveled Podcast.
I didn't even throw up.
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
No.
Brendan Schaub and
oh yeah, dude, that was too funny. He threw up on air like twice.
He went to the bathroom the first time and then he like
didn't make it
and
apparently.
he threw up in the trash can.
Dude, that's from drinking too much coffee without eating, I think. Which I drank, dude. I had to we wrapped it up at like an hour and 45 minutes in with Jesse Weiss the other day, and I was like drinking my second big coffee of the day. It's like one of those cold brews from Starbucks, and I was like, bro, all right, let's wrap this up. You know, and then it's like, dude, off, dude. I gotta pee so bad.
So I didn't. Did I tell you that I was thinking about buying? Where me and Chatana's thinking about starting a coffee shop.
Dude, I love coffee,
a full blown deal in Lamar.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So right by the school. This is how I don't think it's good to just start a little place without wanting to do good. Like you want to put it in a good place.
Location, dude. I can't tell you. I think is everything.
So you gotta know that first thing in the morning, especially if you have a drive-through.
Because I was talking to the lady. You need a drive-through, bro. Like, I think that's a necessity.
It takes a lot for someone. Like, if you don't have time, it's a lot easier just to right through the thing. But also, like, a lot of people go through like, what I'll do is, if I want to go to McDonald's or Starbucks in the morning, like, I'll pull up. And the drive-through is around the, I'm kind of.
Oh, I know, dude. I've noticed that. With
Nobody
Starbucks.
will be
I'm sitting here
inside.
saying, yeah, you got to have a drive-through, and then I'm like, man, like screw the drive-through. Like Cora and I went to the drive. I got Cora a coffee the other day at a Starbucks. It was in the drive-through for like 20 minutes.
Nobody inside.
We went inside the other day because the drive-through was so long. It's like happened to be on that side of town shopping and stuff after Christmas, and like inside was just as atrocious. I ended up seeing one of my buddies in there, and we sit around and talked about the treasure in Norristown. But
I had some friends. Colin Mefford went. Colin Mefford and his dad. His dad went the year. His dad and his brother had went the year before him. They went and looked for the lost Dutchman's treasure. They spent this whole deal. Like they did this whole deal. They wasn't just goofing around. Like they almost died. Like they wouldn't just go on vacations. Like, oh, we'll piddle around here.
Like without a paddle stuff.
This wasn't diamond mining. This was full blown looking for the lost Dutchman's treasure. Like I said, they're like scaling some rocks and whatever they're doing. I don't know. They parked days away from where they were actually hiking to. Found a big giant boulder that was kind of over this hole that had a big X marks the spot, but all they had was a backpack full of shit. You got to have some equipment to be able to move this stuff after, even if you do find it. I mean, unless you just, even if you found gold, you're 3 days. Like if you find gold, what are you going to do? You can bring like a couple of handfuls with you before it gets too heavy to carry, pack out in 3 days' time. It was cool, though, that they went. They spent like their whole vacation, like they went for like 10 days or something.
Dude, this Norristown treasure, which is what I talked to about with my buddy in Starbucks, which we like were pulling up books, and I want to say even had a book with him about it. But it's like there's like an old Osage Indian legend type deal about the silver mine around here. And anyway, but it's like it can only be in like on a 7-mile stretch of the river, or potentially underwater because of when they flooded everything. A buddy of mine gave me this thing. It's like the history of the 3 great floods in Russellville. It's like the last 100 years of history. It's like a study done by the Corps of Engineers, and it has all the maps. And I was telling my buddy at Starbucks this. I'm gonna have him on the podcast eventually. He's like a realtor. He's a hustler, and he was just like, "Dude, you gotta send me some pictures of that map in that book. I want to see." Like, he's like rented a jet ski and like gone on down the river. It's like Norristown was the town that was like came up on the river before the bridge crossed over at Dardanelle. So like Norristown would be like over there by where like Atwoods and stuff is.
Okay.
Like around like that
Between
area, like
Russellville and
Old Post
Dardanelle.
Park and stuff like that's that part of Skyline. Like Nate's mom lives on Norristown, or does she? I don't know. Who's Nate?
Yes.
Who's his mom? Maybe we should
Well,
be
look into
careful
it.
about giving out personal information.
So
on the
was there a
podcast.
town under Dardanelle, under the lake?
I don't know about a town. Now, see, I mean, the river pretty much has always been like at that spot, even before they put the dam in. Like that, the dam just made it more consistent, as far as I know. But there used to be a pontoon bridge there. But as far as I know, it's always been Dardanelle, and then it was on the other side was Norristown.
Yeah, I just didn't know if there was under the lake. Did that mean the lake?
Yeah,
flooded the
well, see,
lake,
the old
or
Dwight
was-
Mission is under the lake, like over by the nuke plant and stuff, Cherokee Crossing.
Yeah.
Speaking of nuke plants, Corey and I are going to do a podcast on this Netflix show, Dark. It's insane.
You see the work that thing that I sent you the other day?
Dude, that was too funny.
Yeah, that's pretty
Too-
funny.
What is it with the work thing? I still haven't seen that Bright movie because I heard it was the worst movie of 2017. But there's a lot of times that movies, like at the end of the year, get dubbed that really they're worst movies.
They pumped it up so big on.
It was like
on,
$100 million movie or something.
They pumped it up huge on UFC on the.
I know
fight.
that was funny. That was funny. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Like, I'm like, how does that happen? Do you come to the UFC and be like, we want to be on the cage, or does UFC be like, hey, Netflix, do you want to be on the cage? We're selling spots. I wonder how that works.
Well, they made that full blown like legit deal that I sent you. Like it was
That Travis Brown thing, yeah,
Yes.
right? Yeah, that was hilarious. And I want to say they played it last night.
Did they? I'm sure
they
did.
might have, or I might have seen it. Like I saw it somewhere else besides when you sent it to me. I was just like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, so I didn't even watch. I didn't watch all of them. I watched the one where the one right before. I watched the end of Cavallo, Cynthia, and what's her name? I watched the end of that fight.
Esparza?
Esparza,
Yeah.
and then the next fight. I don't remember what their names were,
I
but the
don't
dude
either.
caught him in a. It was a.
That Condit fight was
It
good.
was the red haired guy. I missed the Condit fight. I was kind of rooting for Condit.
Yeah, he did not have the performance of his life.
Definitely, probably just getting old. But the
Dude.
dude with the red hair though.
Yeah, I fell asleep during that one. But
The dude caught him in a. The dude was like one of those like crazy striker kind of dudes. Like throws weird kind of a bunch of weird kicks and stuff. You know, very awkward.
dude, Edson Barboza was throwing super fast kicks in the
He's one of
third
the-
round still, man.
I
was just like,
thought-
oh, dude, do.
I could still just see him on, but but I've really never watched Khabib fight.
You know, I
Holy
mean, because
shit.
like he missed weight that one time, and then like I can't remember, like he sat on the shelf a lot.
Yeah,
you
he's
know?
24, now 25-0, but I think he's only 9. He's only had 9 fights
Yeah.
in the UFC.
I'm gonna have to look up some more stats on him. I've been paying more attention to him. It's like I was just like, I hope he makes weight this time and like gets to actually fight. Dogs back in.
Dominated that guy. They could have called his corner could have easily called it, and nobody would have blamed him for throwing the towel in between rounds. Dog problems. Hashtag.
I gotta like shore up that door a little bit. It like hangs like this, like slopes down a little bit. It's like because of how they put the frame in. You know, most people just do a really long screw in the center hinge,
Mhm.
and then likewise on the other side, and then some other like shorter screws besides your 3/4 inch. Well, no one did that on any of the doors in this house except the ones I've put in, like the one on my bedroom over there. But
Come a long ways, dude.
it has. I got to shore that up a little bit, and I had to put that doorknob on it. It's the only door in the house where I couldn't get the new doorknob. So like it's not notched deep enough, so I have to get like a little wood tool or a
Also, it doesn't
Dremel.
close all the way.
Correct. And that's why the dog is Pushed the door open 3 times in one
I
podcast.
thought he was turning with his hand, with his mouth.
He's
or
smart.
hand.
You know, he's very dexterous.
Wrap throw like a. I watched a dog do that the other day. He threw like a cloth or something around the knob and then pulled on it. He got it.
I mean, do that. You can train your dog to get beer. So
my boss's dog, he throws his ball at you. If you don't grab it, he'll throw it at you.
Oh, dude, he slings his like skunk and his little teddy bear dolls and stuff that we get him as toys like around everywhere. It's wild. Like when he gets to running out in the yard, it is like a horse. Like,
It's excited.
oh, dude, he's a full grown animal.
He loves to run.
But he's not. Is the scary part. He's like 7 months old.
Them guys, I say his slabs, they'll go out right now, bust ice on the pond, and they'll jump in the icy cold water. They don't give a crap. Don't give a crap. They love it.
Yeah, he when it was like super cold the other day, like in the 20s, he was out there just like dipping his head in a big old mud puddle, getting in trouble, and then we got a shot collar for him, and now he doesn't do those things anymore. we like it's got like a warning beep. We've only had to shock him twice ever. We hit the warning beep, and he does whatever. It's like, hey, come over here inside now, and he's like, no, I'm gonna go back to the mud puddle and go find stuff to eat that's going to give me worms. And we're like, dee and he's like, oh, I'm not going to do that. I changed my mind. I'm getting inside as fast as I can. It's like he's a kid trying to beat the street.
They're about to bust my ass. I better get in there.
All right. Well, dude, let's wrap this up and get rolling.
It was good.
All right, man.